Murlis, and we put them together, we have a very good map of what to expect for 2024 and what to do in response to what we're going to be encountering in 2024, because it's all there for us. So I think that's the first thing I wanted to say. Let's all do that. Take the 4 Murlis, put them side by side on a board, or put them in a file, then get a board and start capturing what Baba said and the map he's giving us. But it's an inner map. It's not an external map. It's a map to respond to something that is coming from deep within our souls. And so in the Murli that was transmitted from Aduman, Baba talked about Brahma Baba's foundation and how important the foundation is to one's spiritual life. And of course, the surface, the ocean has got 2 levels to it. The waves that many of us seem to be surfing, but then there needs to be a scuba diver too. And you need to dive as deep as you possibly can into the depths. So the example that Sister Mohini gave last night was you don't see your face in boiling water. You don't see your face when the ocean is in upheaval. But you see your face in still waters, lake waters, pond waters. And then, of course, when the ocean is still, it means still waters run deep. You know, there's a depth to the stillness of the water in the ocean. So 2 aspects of the ocean, the depths and the waves. And it was a very striking metaphor. Actually, those of us who are born in countries surrounded by oceans and waters, it is a striking metaphor for the using water as a way to explain to us shallowness and depth. But yesterday I asked Sister Mohini a question that I'd like to ask all of you as well today, and then I'll go into something I'd like to share with you. And that is, I asked her the question, the question I asked her is, what is a story from Brahma Baba's life that represents the essence of who she is? So what is a story from Brahma Baba's life that represents the essence of who you are today? A story from Brahma Baba's life. So reflect on it, and then maybe you could share it at some point, because I'd like to hear some of your experiences, and we're supposed to be together until Sister Mohini comes. So we don't know when she's coming, right? So that might just give us time to share from our hearts as well. But I remembered, continuing from where I left off yesterday, is that Sister Mohini and Sister Jayanti, well, Sister Jayanti came first to Guyana in 1975. She came straight to our home and then returned to our home and spent the rest of her time with our family. But Sister Mohini joined her. And when Sister Mohini joined her, they then got a place that they started using as a center. And Sister Mohini and Sister Jayanti, and there was another sister, very sweet sister, she's no longer in the body, from Surat, called Sister Lata Thriban. They were there, and we were all at that time quite young, and we were like a flock around them. So come 18 January, the first 18 January of 1976, they said that they were going to be cleaning Baba's home. So we all cleaned, and well, then I asked, as I said last night, I asked Sister Mohini, okay, well, she asked me, well, what are you going to clean? And I said, what do you want me to clean? And she says, clean Baba's room. And I remember that's my first act of seva, cleaning. So no wonder she always talks, when she thinks of me and seva, she always talks about cleaning. Have you noticed that? Because it was the first assignment she gave to me to clean the Baba's room. So I cleaned it and cleaned it and cleaned it and cleaned it and cleaned it. I love to clean, by the way. So it was like squeaky clean when I was finished. And then there was something, I suppose, that was subtly going on in me as I was doing that cleaning job for that day. Because the next day, on the 18th of January, or whenever the 18th, a couple of days after, we did exactly what you did this morning. And we had, in those days, it was serious yoga. It was serious yoga. It wasn't like in and out yoga. You sit there, you remain there. You're in an oven. You're in a furnace. And I don't remember anybody sleeping, but that's irrelevant. You used to have to be alert, right? You used to have to be remembering Baba. And so then it was evening, and we all had to go back. And I think you all are going to have, like in Queens, we're having a big evening. It was morning, and then Sister Mohini usually comes to Queens in the evening. We have a big Brahma Bhojan, and all the students come who couldn't come in the morning, and who could come in the morning, they all come together. So we were having this as well. And then when I walked in, so we all did the decorating, and you do a lot of decorating at that time, making it the subtle region, making it very subtle. So when I walked in that evening, Sister Lata was sitting on the gadi about to offer Bhog. And then Sister Jayanti came over and whispered to me and said, go and sit and offer Bhog with Sister Lata. And Baba in today's Murli said, do not, no matter what happens, don't be surprised. Do not be surprised by it, because then you come down a notch. You don't go into the ascending stage, you come down a notch into the descending stage, because you're questioning drama. But who knows those things in those days? So I got surprised. But anyway, I couldn't say no to her, because everybody was sitting there, and the place was full. It was a small place, but full. And then I sat next to Lata Ben. But the whole of the Bhog, I was apologizing to Baba. Because what Sister Jayanti had instilled in me and Sister Mohini was the purity that he stood for, the elevated consciousness that he stood for, all of these things that I didn't feel I was. So I started saying, Baba, since Sister Jayanti, since they came, Sister Mohini and Sister Jayanti, I am a vegetarian, but I didn't commit to being a vegetarian. I'm only doing it until they're here. And then who knows what would happen when they leave. So I'm not qualified to be sitting here. And Baba, I am so sorry for what Sister Jayanti did to you. And I don't know how I'm going to make up for this. I'm so I was genuinely sorry that she did this to him. So I'm apologizing on her behalf, right? Not on my behalf, not being able to do anything, but on her behalf. And then all of a sudden, I had this thought, well, whatever she did, but you did the action of coming up here and sitting. So what will you do now? It was like such a clear thing that anybody could say anything to you, but once you take that action, you're responsible. And I said, and this is all going on, mind to mind conversation. And I said, okay, I'll commit to vegetarianism. I'll commit to it, but maybe just for 6 months. I'll commit to it for 6 months. And after that, I'll see. And Baba, I said to him, I'm doing this to make up for Sister Jayanti's putting me up here. And then I think that was the first moment of my realization. And it happened in a conversation with Baba on the 18th of January. And at that time, I didn't see or didn't understand that I was actually committing my life. It wasn't about a diet, but it was about a life. And of course, you would say the rest is history. But I was talking with Brahma Baba. They invited me to come on from Hong Kong. And so therefore I had to be talking to them about Brahma Baba at 5:30 in the morning on Tuesday morning. And I don't know Bindu Ben very well. And then she sent me the invitation and she sent the invitation to me on Sunday. Could you talk on Tuesday? So then I asked her why. And she says, because Rajani Ben was supposed to do it. Rajani Ben is sick. Could you do it? So Rajani Ben used to be with us in New York. And there are many 18 Januaries that we did together in Astoria, Queens. It was always a day like this, cold, cold. Even the flowers were frozen that we would offer to Baba. It was so cold. And so I said, okay. And her birthday is the 18th as well. So I said, okay, I'll do it as a birthday gift to her. That was what I thought. And then I said to Bindu Ben at the end of the talk, I said, what made you think of me? There's so many others that you could have thought of to ask them to come and speak. And she says, I don't know why I thought. I said, you don't even know me well. You don't even know how close I am to Baba. And she says, well, I sat in Baba's room and I asked him, who should I ask? And your name popped into my head. And so I called you and you instantly said yes. So the way they welcomed me was welcome to the ever ready angel. So they don't know I'm not always ever ready. But so I felt that, after that, a lot of the old memories with Brahma Baba, with, of course, Baba, yeah, of course, Sakar Baba, Avyakt Baba, started returning. And one of the things that I do every 18 January is that I read his diary. Now, when I was young in Gyan, every time I go to Madhuban, I would go visit Dada Anand Kishore, who used to share an office with Brother Nirware in the courtyard. So Shashi Ben's office, you know where Shashi Ben's office is, right? At one end. And the other end was Nirware Bhai's office. And I used to go there and chat with Dada Anand Kishore because Dada Anand Kishore knew English. So he could chat with you in English. And one of the things he shared with me was Baba's diary, and Baba talked about it today. And he said that Baba did a lot of foundational work, exactly what Baba was saying today. And he worked on the foundation of soul consciousness. And that was even before Shiv Baba, actually, he realized that it was Shiv Baba and the call of Shiv Baba to him to be his chariot. And Brahma Baba was preparing himself for this. So at the end of 1932, well, not the end, September of 1932, and this was the diary that Dada Anand Kishore had, Brahma Baba used to do a lot of reflecting And so I asked him, I said, could you give me the diary? And he said, no, but my mind's eye is still on that diary. And he said, no. I said, well, I want to know how Baba journaled. I want to understand how he was coming to terms with these things that we all have to come to terms with when we start hearing them. How did he relate to them? Because Brahma Baba was a very, very sincere devotee. But from the way he journaled, it was a transitional point for him. It was a transitional point from being a devotee, from being Dada Lekraj, to being Prajapita Brahma. And Dada Lekraj, it was Dada's diary. And Dada Lekraj was grappling with things in his own soul. In relation, it was as though questions were occurring, questions were coming up. And he was talking to himself about this, but he was also talking to God about it. Now, Baba mentioned that diary today. Baba mentioned how he would say to himself, he's a soul, and how he would say his wife, Yashodaben, was a soul, and his daughter was a soul. But he also would talk to the vices, and he would also talk to himself, the soul, the actual soul. And so if we were to go back to our foundation and we were to journal on a conversation with ourselves, just on what he says, take just this one topic of self-respect and churn on it, think of it, I would say for 21 days. He says, sir, from today to Shivratri, I'm saying, think of your self-respect just as one stage from now to Shivratri, or 21 days. But in the foundation, you have to look at it foundationally, not from the waves of the ocean, but from the depths of the ocean. How many of you have done that? Look at soul consciousness in a very deep way. Mm-hmm. What did you look at? Did you look at the mind? Did you look at thoughts? What did you look at when you were digging into soul consciousness? Because today I asked a question. This is the 18th day. We're practicing something that's called stage, the double light stage. What is sthiti? What is stage that we're practicing? This is stability. I say that's not a stage. Stability is a word used to describe a stage. But what is the stage? How do I know I have a stage? How does it come out of me? How do I recognize it? So what I'll do is that I'll read some of what Baba did when he was looking at his foundation. You want to hear it or no? Did I pique your curiosity? Or are you tired? So, on the 20th of September, 1932, our dearest Brahma Baba, who was called Dada Lekraj at that time, this is what he said to himself. And then I'll stop and have you kind of reflect on it. Then I'll go on to the other one. The first part I picked out was, O mind, you surrendered yourself to the Sat Guru on the 20th of September, 1932. The Sat Guru was like his way of looking at the highest being in his life. The 20th of September, 1932. In other words, you have died. Now, you're thinking of what he's saying and thinking of your foundation, right? You're connecting it to your foundation, not just to his words. You have been sold away. I love the way he talked. You have been sold away. From that day, I promised that whatever I had considered as my own has turned to belong to God on my death. So this was a dying alive thing he was beginning to grapple with. In turn, God has ordered that I should carry on my job as usual, but not considering it as my own. And here's the human voice. Whether that is possible or not, God alone knows. Once at least, now here is his commitment to really figure out what was going on. Once at least, I should really die for 7 months and be done with it. Let us see if all goes well or not. If it goes well, then in these 7 months, it should be clarified what God wants for me. If negative or positive thinking goes on together, which it was going on in his mind, it definitely creates problems. So why do I not remain calm? This is my mistake. And that was the first bit I pulled from the diary, because he was taking 7 months to look at what he was being called to in a significant way, to die, to give up his job, for instance. Who took 7 months when they were in a transition period? They couldn't figure out whether they want to keep working or to leave their job. Who took 7 months to figure it out? Or did they just call Sister Mohini and said, should I do this or should I not? That's foundational. Any comments? He had no one, that's right. He had no one. You have Sister Mohini you can talk to. He was a pioneer. And he started with his own course of the soul. He started blasting the path in his own soul. So when we talk about the spiritual growth, what are we talking about? When we talk to become like Baba, what do we want to follow? What do we want to do? But has anyone taken 7 months to do this? We can't even take 7 days. We don't have the time. We can't do Shiva for 7 days to find out what death is all about while living. Okay. Want to hear the second one? I call it Baba's pursuit of truth. Baba wanted to live in truth. And he used this word a lot in his diary, fool. He used to call himself a fool. He says, oh, foolish man. He's referring to himself. Be sure that the person who was famous as Lake Raj has died. He was a famous jeweler. I have got a new body now, and all relationships of the past are cut off after death. So, with whom should the new relationships be made? Only with one who is truth. And whatever is untrue must end. No relationship must continue with the old one, the old Lakeranj. Now, what struck me in this thing, this little piece here, is what Baba was looking at true and untrue, what was true and what was untrue in human relationships. He wasn't looking at it coming from an almighty authority as yet. He started off with the relationship, that there's truth and falsehood, and it begins and ends in relationships. That's where it plays out. That was what struck me as foundational to understanding truth and untruth. Ooh. Just the second part, he says, what is truth? Now he's churning, right? He's journaling. What is truth? What is that which is not destroyed? The soul is truth. God is truth. God is truth. And now here is where he wasn't clear about God. And it's reflected in this piece. But what he was after was a pursuit of truth. So he says, God is truth. That is truth, which is speaking in yourself, which is seeing in yourself. That's the soul, right? The soul is truth. That is immortal. And you repeated it. That is immortal. You are truth. That should be grasped by you. So what is living in truth? If I don't know myself, how can I ever know what truth is? It's not textbook. Any comments on that for you in your foundational work of understanding truth? Because this is all delving into soul consciousness. The foundation of soul consciousness is this dying alive in pursuit of truth, living in truth. These are foundational to understanding soul consciousness, isn't it? People, I know one person that I was very moved by. And when I read this from Baba, I really thought of him. And that was Vaclav Havel. And he always thought in his essay of power of the powerless lives in the individual discovering their individual truth and living by that truth. And then the powerless would get back their power. Otherwise, we will remain victims of falsehood because we're not exploring our own fundamental truth. Yeah? Yeah. And and he says it will play out relationally. And so, yeah. So once you look at someone, the ping will happen in their soul too of that truth. Yeah. So I don't know if Anthony is getting any pings from Sister Mohini, but let me continue. The other one is very interesting. I call it a soulful conversation because I just didn't want to say mindful, but he is speaking to the whole soul. Him, the soul, is speaking to his soul. And so Baba referred to it in the Murli today. And he used to speak about his mind, right? And the vices. So this is how Brahma Baba wrote. And I could just imagine him. He put that pen on the paper and he wrote, and he never edited. And he wrote and he wrote and he wrote and he wrote, and he never know one day Gayatri would find excerpts from that diary and share it with the world. Because he makes me feel, when I read these, and I read them every 18th, and I thank Dada and Kishore for doing this for, and he'd given it to a few others. I'm not the exclusive owner of it, but I kept it and I kept it and I kept it. And every year I would read it. And then I remember him as someone who struggled with the same things that Gayatri struggled with. But he wrote it so eloquently in his diary that he kind of, I get a faith boost. When I read this, I get a boost. You can do it. You can do it too. This is what it takes. Just take that pen, put it on your page, write. Empty yourself. So this is how he said it. The king soul speaks. Oh, my mind, dear brother, you're taking advantage of your position as my minister. You have, since a long time now, been interfering in my affairs, finding me, your sovereign, somewhat negligent. You have ruled over me with great authority for enough time. So for him, this meant enough is enough. I've been negligent. You took advantage of me. There was a kind of coup going on. You're about to take over. My commander-in-chief, Sexlust, which means Sexlust became his commander-in-chief. You became my commissioner, anger. My inspector general of police, greed. Now think about the police system. Think about that system and the authority they have over all of us. A police stop you, you dare not drive away, right? My policeman attachment and my head constable arrogance. Now, this is the part I really love, his choice of words. You have intertwined me in the ropes. You have intertwined me in the ropes of those officers. And you made me to perform a rope dance under your sway. Now, how poetic is that? You made me perform a rope dance under your sway, the sway of the five vices. Now, if we could talk to last night I had a dream and I dreamt that I took some food. It's a strange dream. I took some food and someone said something about the food. And this was the night before 18 January, right? So it's telling me something. And I took the food and I threw it on them. And it was all fruits. And then I walked away. And then I came back and there were a group of people and they started engaging me in a conversation about me throwing the food and someone is getting cold or something, wear a mask. but bless you, bless you, bless you. So the person now, they're talking and we're like reviewing what happened. And the person said to me, Gayatri, to take the food and throw it, that was pure arrogance. And that was my head constable, the arrogance. So obviously today's 18 January, I know what I have to work on for the next 21 days, right? Removing my constable, the arrogance. And this is how messages show up, you know, these subtle messages to us. It shows up in dreams, and you then know what you have to work with. So then you're going to journal about it, right? Because you just can't paint the image of a self-respect without cleaning up the soul of its arrogance. They've got to be simultaneous. I've got to do the cleaning job, and then I will see the image, the sparkle. So both of it. And so I have to stop being intertwined and dancing to the sway of arrogance, my rope dance. It might be the subtle threads, right? The subtle threads dance. So any comments on that? Play out. Right. Mhm. That's what he's saying. You have to die from them. Yeah, this Carmen no longer exists. Carmen is dead, and all relationships connected to Carmen is dead. That's what he's telling us, that we need to write it and we need to reflect on it. Is this one here? Could you check in? Because I have one, I have a couple more, but one I want, and I call it his earliest experience of God. And I felt it very, very touching. And this is what he said. And then I'll go back to the soul conscious one that he wrote. And this was when I think he knew that he was being touched in a very deep and significant way by Shiv Baba. And he was yearning to know what was this soul. He was yearning. I call it, there was a yearning to see the face of God. It was a yearning to make this experience he was going through so crystal clear that he could engage with the soul of God, but he was calling it a Sadguru or whatever he was calling it. So what touched me was he didn't call on God for knowledge, but this is what he said. Show me some path, O God. You are powerful. He called on him to show him the path. You can turn any key. Please do it soon. Please don't delay. Please show me the path. The Gita says God is in everyone. Those who do not know me are not in me. Those who know me are in me. Oh God, and that Anil Kishore used to translate in very old-fashioned English, right? So he said, oh God, you are aloof from all. You know, we would say now detached. What is your path for me? The final path is ultimately, I will find you aloof every day. the final path is Shiv Baba becomes more and more aloof from us, right? He doesn't come with us in the golden age, but he didn't know that. So what he was feeling is that the more he yearned for God, he was feeling this aloofness from God to him. Well, he says, I have understood. Now, this is a piece that makes me think of Baba. How aloof is Shiv Baba for me? Or how aloof am I from Shiv Baba? And this distinction, which I want to talk to Sister Mohini about, but maybe I'll do it one-on-one because I want her to answer it. And not as though she's talking to 400 people, but if she's talking to me personally. What's the difference between being shown the path and being shown the Shrimat? You know, getting the Shrimat, the knowledge in the Shrimat, and what is this path that we walk in? Is remembrance the path? And is Shrimat and Gyan the directions? And so if I have the knowledge and the Shrimat, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm walking the path. But only if I'm in remembrance of Baba, he's showing me the path. And was it today's Murli or somewhere? He says, if you have remembrance of me, you will know clearly the path. Today's Murli, right? Right. So it means that it's only, I may have all the Gyan and know all the Shrimat and all the Maryadas, but it's only when I'm in remembrance of him that I see the path and I can walk it. And he says you need you need vision and intellect. That's introversion. That's introversion. That's introverted. That's today's Murli. Isn't that so touching? So moving. No, before 1932. He was preparing himself. And that's what Dada Anankisho was saying to me, is that the way we treat our foundational life with such flippancy and such extroversion, ultimately, Shiv Baba will remain aloof from us. But we have to be serious about the foundation in it. You know, like when I do my meditation or when I do my yoga or whatever I'm doing, because life is a serious thing. It's not a life to be played with. So yeah, it's very beautiful. This is all foundational stuff. And this was even before he actually started churning Gyan and writing on the walls and stuff. This was just prep work. This was Dada's voice. So you want to hear how he talked to himself? Glimpses of soul consciousness, I call it. And this is to do with yesterday's. Was it yesterday to let go of everything, or is it today and be a trustee or Avyakti point? Today? Mera and Tera? Today, right? So here, this is what Baba said. Let go. Nothing belongs to me. Nothing can belong to me. When this faith is firm, then only there will be no cause for sorrow. This is for sure. Remember, if you feel sorrow at any time, you must have said that something belongs to you. If nothing belongs to you, sorrow will simply vanish. Problems will vanish. If the body becomes sick or dies or fails to do anything, what does the property mean to you at that time? That means your possessions. Of what use is property anyway? Property does not help you when you're sick, or you die, or you fail. Does it? I don't think so. Huh? But if you own it, you start worrying about the place that you're living in. Yes. If I die, who is going to take this? What is going to happen? Who is going to inherit? It's a subtle worry. That's what he's saying. Therefore, recognize the I in the body. Recognize that true thing, the soul, the glitter of light, the shine of the sun, a wave of the ocean. Recognize the soul gets merged in God. And that soul is I, which will get merged in God. And again, it was Dada Lakeraj talking. He corrected it by saying, you don't get merged in God, you get merged in the love of God. Otherwise than that, you are nothing. The soul is truth. The soul is life. The soul is blissful. The soul is peaceful. The soul is separate. It is pure. What is the soul separate from? The soul is separate from Maya first, and it is then separate from the body. So the soul is different from everything. So when you sit in prayer or meditation, you must understand that you're not a body. What is left is light, separate from the body. And the rest is peace. Become separate from the body. Try to understand this first. Forget everything. And what is everything? And this is what you're supposed to be doing here today, right? Forget your family. Forget your property. Forget your business. Forget everything. Then after that forgetting, imagine. Imagine that you don't exist. You don't exist. You don't exist. You're an instrument. She's there. After that, you forget the body. And then return to being the truth. Return to being the soul. And then remain silent. So all of this, whatever it's worth to you, is called foundational work. And you could see already, you're not even understanding, some of you, to the depth, because whatever he said in those churnings, that was exactly what he had to do when Shiv Baba came. But he was prepared for it before. And so it's a diary. 1932. 1932. Shiv Baba came in 1936, around that time.
Very, very tough. When she was sick, I used to find his restaurants. I used to wear the best sari, the best jewelry. Now I have to.
But that took her there.
I used to be in literacy. Now I'm in leadership.
father's safety. On the eyelids. My father's eyes. And now realize who I can see myself clearly. I look into the face of Father Brahma. I am the child. Adopted through the mouth of Father Brahma. I am Brahma Kumar, the Brahma Kumari. As a son, daughter of Brahma. He places me on the heart throne. adopted by Shiv Baba. Places me into the lap of love. Of my mother, Brahma. Makes room for my mother's eyes. I feel special. My mother's smile. I feel nurtured. By my mother's touch. And the laugh of my mother. She listens to my heart. And the laugh of my mother. There's kindness and gentleness and care. I know who I am. When I look into the face of Brahma, face an angel, face that sees me as an angel. Die, feel that angelic form taking shape, and taking form. And I become angelic grandmother. Surrounding me is a fortress, light. Above me is a canopy of light. I'm safe and I'm protected. I know who I am. I look into the face from my mother. I'm precious. I'm valuable. I'm unique. There is no one else like me. Earth looks at me. That is what he sees. Because I am so unique among the 8 billion souls. He carefully lifts me, this tiny point, like a diamond dust, and he places me on his eyelids. Closest I can get, being together, great care, makes me sees myself in the four places.
से वतन में, उस मीठे से वतन में हो अव्यक्त वतन में हम उड़ के चले जाएं, ओ हम उड़ के चले जाएं उस प्यारे से वतन में, उस मीठे से वतन में। जाना है वहाँ हमको जहाँ बाप और दादा है वो, जाना है वहाँ हमको जहाँ बाप और दादा है, बनना है संपूर्ण हो किया बाबा से वादा है, जो बाबा से किया था वो वादा निभाएंगे। हम उड़ के चले जाएं, ओ हम उड़ के चले जाएं उस प्यारे से वतन में, उस मीठे से वतन में। ये देह न याद आए, देहधारी न याद आए हो, ये देह न याद आए, देहधारी न याद आए, ये पतित पुरानी सी हो दुनिया भी न याद आए, याद आए तो बस अपना वो वतन ही याद आए। प्यार से वतन में, उस प्यार से वतन में, उस मीठे से वतन में हो, अव्यक्त वतन में हो, हम उड़ के चले जाएं उस प्यार से वतन में हो, उस मीठे से वतन में।
जब तक है ये धरती गगन, आपके आभार में पुलकित हुआ गाता है मन, प्यारे ब्रह्मा बाबा। करने के लिए व्यक्त तन का त्याग कर अव्यक्त साधन ले लिए। प्यार इतना है वतन से अब भी होता आगमन, प्यार इतना है वतन से अब भी होता आगमन। शत शत नमन, धन्य धरती कर रही है आपका शत शत नमन। आपके आभार में पुलकित हुआ गाता है मन। प्यारे ब्रह्मा बाबा स्वीकारिए श्रद्धा सुमन। प्यारे ब्रह्मा बाबा स्वीकारिए श्रद्धा सुमन। आपके आभार में पुलकित हुआ गाता है मन। प्यारे ब्रह्मा बाबा।
Taking everyone's loveful remembrances. Then I went to offer Bhog to Baba. So we had been in love. Baba also said this morning that Baba also is like ocean of love. So Baba gave us drishti with lot of love. And then I said, Baba, I brought a Bhog on behalf of the family. And Baba gave drishti, accepted Bhog. Then Baba was looking at me. Whom do you love more, Shiv Baba or Brahma Baba? Brahma Baba is asking. So at least I said, but you both not separate. We think of Shiv Baba. And I instantly, like, I don't know how, 60 plus years when I got introduction of Shiv Baba, it was through Brahma Baba, right? That is why when Mama left body, and Baba said, Brahma is your mother because you are born through Brahma. You are mouth progeny, the children of Brahma Baba. So I said, for us, you both. So Baba said, Whom do you follow, Shiv Baba or Brahma Baba? Whom do we follow? So how do we follow Shiv Baba? Hmm? Because like Shiv Baba is ocean, so we are becoming Master Ocean. But when it comes to following in the sense of practical, then Shiv Baba through Brahma Baba showed us every step. So it was Brahma Baba was taking steps, but it was Shiv Baba's direction. So Baba said that Baba's protection for so many years as Brahma Baba, being the instrument, was because of he stayed in the line of Lakshman Rekha Srimad. Every step he followed Srimad. Every step. And because of that, he was victorious or he remained safe. Even there were a lot of challenges, obstacles, difficulties. I don't know how many of you are listening. In the evening, Ramesh Bhai, we had been sharing ancestors, and he's telling us how every step Baba took, the way Rama turned, because he had so much faith in Rama. So we had been sharing that story every day for about 5 minutes. Very beautiful because he's the person who really talked to Baba. Most of us won't ask questions, like he will go and ask, how did it happen? How did it happen? Plus, he was part of his life because he spent a lot of time in Bombay. And Mama stayed with Ramesh Bhai for, no, I think, few years actually. So this Shrimad, which Baba gave, was the protection, like, because as soon as you break Shrimad, what happens? Hmm? What happens? Huh? You get kidnapped. Form is very good. No, Raman didn't come. Hmm. Form is of saint and very reasonable, very convincing. That means reasoning is, oh, this is good. It's okay. What's wrong, right? But actually, you have been kidnapped. That means your mind and intellect. Hmm. And when Baba was saying it, I thought, I was just thinking, do I feel kidnapped sometimes? Hmm. So Baba said the success of Brahma Baba's life was following Srimad. Even he had to, sometimes, because there was a time when Brahma Baba had to do anything. Baba had two trans messengers. One was personal and was there were two actually personal, Santri Dadi and Sandeshi Dadi, two of them, but one was like Dadi Gulzar was general. But at Baba's time, Dadi Gulzar was personal. That means they sat in Baba's room and go and ask Baba this, when. So even the yagya, everything what was done was what directions came properly through trans messengers. It was not what Brahma Baba decided. So one time you all had heard that Baba had to go to Bombay. Somebody had built a new house and said Baba should come. So everything was ready, and then half an hour before the train time, direction came, you cannot go. Baba, they are expecting, they prepare, let me go this time. You cannot go. At least 5 times Baba send message. Baba, it's like we think on human relation. Baba said no. And after that, Baba never went out of Mount Abu. Even few times he wanted to, but every time no. So tell Baba, Baba cannot disobey and get in the train. He didn't go. So it's like there was a time where step by step there was directions and Brahma Baba will follow, not only for his protection, but his children, whole Yagya protection. So it was like his whole life, the success, our protection with him also, because he followed Srimad accurately. Srimad has that power. And then the way Brahma Baba is like the way he went on his spiritual journey. He always thought, which I think that everyone, there will be a time where everyone will look at Brahma, what he did. So Baba was just so actually today was so real in the sense of where he is, what is he doing still in subtle regions, long time now. No? Baba said that until children are ready, Baba and all ancestor souls and will remain connected. They are on journey with you. So I said, but Baba became perfect. He was Karmatit. So it's not, Baba said, I am alone. That if I become Karmatit, then it's over the task. No. That is why Baba keeps saying, children, be ready, become close to perfection. And because all have to be ready to go together. So then I said, Baba, yesterday, Gayatri said to give you a message. Because yesterday, Gayatri was interviewing me in Avyakt Parivar. And she was sharing some of the stories. And she said, tell Baba, you are our hero. Not only leader, but you are our hero. So I told Baba because she said, then tell what he said. So I said, Baba, this is what child said. And Baba was smiling and Baba said, because you have to be brave. Baba had no fear of anything, whether it was deformation, whether it was whatever it was. You all know so many stories. So Baba said one is he's brave. And he always have who is next to him is Shiv Baba. Right? So where he looked up. So always look up in the sense of those who are on journey for a long time, those who had been victorious. Look at them always. So you will also be hero. And always remember that whatever you do, you being instrument and you being teacher, others will follow, right? So always remember that. And if you remember, then you will be hero in the sense of everyone will say, this is the right thing. This is the right step. So Baba was chatting like that. And then I look at Baba and for me, definitely, it's a real father. It's not question of spiritual and logic. Only father, because I never kind of met my father. So it was a father for me. So in my life, at least, I always immediately think what Baba did, what would have Baba said, what was Baba's direction. And for so many years until now, luckily I have privilege of going to Baba. But it's not I go for little things, but I do go for some of the directions, and because it's a very, very big yagya, and it's only Baba who can give direction or sustain. So Baba loves everyone, right? Baba loves. Hmm? Do you all feel Baba's love? Yeah? Let me. No, because Gayatri when was telling that somebody said, I don't feel Baba's love. Mhm. And that is why these days don't carry any burden from the past for anyone. Just remain double light, double light, double light. So lots of love from Bab Dada. Baba also in Murli says Baba, and for whom he says worship. So lots of love remembrances on this day of remembrance. We all heard Murli. It was very good, Murli. Love is power. Love makes you easy yogi. So whenever we struggle with in yoga or for anything, just remind yourself, is something going on with love. There's so many beautiful points, but love is the main. And this is the time, what is required for all of us is God's love. So I, as an instrument, mm, God's love, God's love. I have love, not I have love, God's love. Because my love will still do something limited, but when it's God's love, it's powerful, right? But there are many who will not experience God's love from up above, but they can experience from us. Right? And then only also we are becoming deities. So we should be very sweet. That's always said, Baba. Sweet, sweeter, sweet, sweet, sweet. Mm. And one who is sweet will have patience, will listen, will. Baba says our nature should be very humble and sweet, and so that our voice will also be soft and gentle and not forceful. When I went to Baba, I was 16, and some or other, Dadi started connecting me with Baba. And I had just finished school and started university, and I started writing letters to Baba. And he would write long letters. We didn't know each other. I had imagination, a old man somewhere on the mountain, but I love him. So when Baba came to Delhi, I came from college and they made appointment for me to meet Baba. At 5 afternoon, I used to come. So I directly went and changed clothes and, wore white and went. And Baba was sitting, uh, I think it was something like a lower cushion, in Baba's room, there is a full mattress, but this was like a chair. He never sat on chair or sofas. He sat there and there was a little table, and so Baba gave drishti, and I didn't know drishti or Shiv Baba, anything, but I knew Baba. And this is the Baba, right? Later on, came to know when I did 7 days course that there is another Baba who is in this Baba. So for me, he was Baba. And I was happy with that too, because he was not ordinary. Even if you look at him in a Lokik way, his face sparkling and as somebody shared yesterday, I heard 6 feet tall and erect and, very, very, I shouldn't say, people say beautiful.